Alright guys, welcome back to Ralph's house. Where we paint from the heart, we have a ball doing it. Our rabbits are coming along pretty good. I've got to finish out my bottom here, just get something to get it covered. I'm going to grab some ultramarine blue, just get it in here. We need a grass color. So I grabbed that sap green, mix the two together. More blue, give me a little bit darker. Let's get some grass in here. Let's get it covered, more water. Gives me something to push around. See, that's the more water I got. And just push it in there. Push it in there. And so that's the kind of thing that's going to give me, there's my flower. I'm going to work around it a little bit. I'm going to put that paint into that flower. Get my strokes. I want some of that up in here, behind the ear. And just kind of mix all those together. Just push that along. Let's get this grass growing in here. Get some strokes in there, something to paint into. I'm trying to sit back where y'all can see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get something in here. The closer you get to the foreground, actually the darker it's going to get. So that's why I want to keep that dark right in there. There's a stem for that flower going up there, another one back there in the background somewhere. And push that dark on down here. I know that egg where it's sitting in the grass, we've got to have that on there. Got a little shadow there. Get a good dark right there. Just grab some regular sap green and we'll add some yellow to it this time, lighten it up a little bit. Just to give you a contrasting color to go in there. Something to, just a different color. Let's put some sap green on top of that. Do some cadmium yellow light in there. So we're just casting different strokes, like the sunlight shining right by that egg. So just put it in there. And that's what we're after. Get some of that yellow of the sunlight over here. A little more water in that. We're just covering this canvas with grass. With all that green, I'm going to take a little bit of this raw sin and mix in there with it. Just to give me a little color. I like colors in my grass. I think it helps. Teach your canvas just being overwhelmed with all the dark colors. See, yeah, you can see some of that red in there. That's what it is. Create some of that up in here. I got that. I want to get that. There we go. Get that dark in here, right behind that ear, behind that head. We're just going to keep moving stuff around till we get what we want in this picture. I need a real dark stem for this right here. It's going to come down right here. I have that real dark ultramarine blue. I'm just mixing it in here, just a touch of green. This gives me a good dark. Grab a little bit of burnt umber and put in there with it. That should give me something very dark. Just pull that brush kind of sideways and kind of give me a flower look. Let's cut some more, like there's more grass back in here. Don't be afraid to cut it in there. Just cut it in there, different strokes. Shadow on that egg, see. Got that grass in there. And get some color in that egg. We'll do that here in a minute. Kind of help rely where the shadow's hitting on my. So I'm going to keep piling that color in there. I'll have the center of that, something to pull those strokes into. I have a center for that flower. I have one for this flower. You'll say, oh, he just painted all over his flowers. We're going to start all over again. The more color you have, the more depth you'll have. Just a little stem back there somewhere. And if it don't work, add something else. Grab some of that burnt skin up there, right there, put it in here just to give me some more color down here. Just cut colorful strokes in. Something of color. Shadow, what did I got? Yeah, I've got a shadow color there. I want that shadow right on that tail. That tail sitting on the ground a little bit. Kind of hide him back in there. Actually a pretty good shadow color for this rabbit. I'll roll the brush a little bit. Let's get some shadow in here. I'll make that light jump out a little bit more. That way we got something to paint into. I see a color I like. I'm not afraid to try it. I'm not afraid to move it around. Shadow in here. There's going to be a shadow between those 2 feet. right beside that head, right in here, it's gonna be on the shadow side of that rabbit, see? Feel like where the sun's casting that shadow right across his foot, see? There it is. Across this leg. Don't be afraid to put it in there. We can always put more lights on top of it. This is the shadow side of the rabbit, away from the sunlight. So by getting this in here, that's the light side of that rabbit. It'll make that stand out more. Let's do this. Kind of roll some more of that shadow in here. I got so light I couldn't make it any lighter, so I had to get darker again. So I can get my lights back in there. And I'm not afraid to get dark. Because the first thing that happens when you start, there we go, that's between the ears. That ear's probably casting a little shadow across that ear. First thing that happens when you start adding light is you lose your darks. That kind of starting to give us some shapes. Just come down here, get some shadows, a little bit of shadow here. Something to paint into, something to paint into. Part of the ear that's in the shadow. On the forward we come, getting into the shadows out here. Colors into colors into colors. We're going to do a lot of that. Over here, this leg will be in the shadow on this side. See that? That part of the ear over here will be in the shadow. I'm tone that down just a little bit. You know, sometimes I'll pick a color and it don't work. Well, that's what I do. I do something different. There's the back side, the shadow side of that head. That kind of makes a good shadow color to help me define where my shadow side of this rabbit is. There's the side of the foot that's in there. So you just got to have that to get. I want to get stronger light, so I've got to get a little more dark in here. That foot's kind of, there we go, kind of roll that in there like that. Don't be afraid to put your shadows in. Relighten it, lighten it back up. Let's get this side of the egg that would be in the shadow down here. See, let's make a little shadow down here. That egg's there, but it's down in the grass. We don't really care. There we go. Now we can add lights back on it. And we can do, I'm gonna grab some of this burnt umber in here. Some of this ultramarine blue, give me a real dark. That's very, very dark. So that I can do this. Kind of just pull some dark strokes in down here. Where he's laying in the grass, under that ear. I'll tell you what, this is something we'll keep on working with. We'll keep pushing. We go dark, we go light, till we end up where we want to be. Y'all come.